Bartos, Bartos.
So what's happening today? Because this continues to grow here, and you guys have been out here in Niagara Square for what, about a week now? A week and a couple days?
Since October 8th, we've been occupying the square. Today is going to be the General Assembly, where our issues are brought up, and an interesting feature I just learned about, the People's Soapbox. Seeing we're representing everyone, anyone that wants to come and say their piece and talk about their issue, why they're here, they'll be able to do that.
Talk about that people still don't understand. I mean, they're looking and say, oh, there are them hippie cats out there, these young college students with nothing better to do. Why are you guys out here? What do you want people to know about this movement? So they don't just dismiss it and go, oh, well, whatever.
We're trying to build solidarity with the community, and that's been exactly what's happened. We've had rich and poor, young and old. We've had active military and veterans, the Buffalo Police Department, the Fire Department. The community has really come out in support of what we're doing. We call ourselves the 99% movement because we believe we're representing the 99% of people who have been disparaged under the oppression of the top 1% of the wealthiest Americans.
Is there a singular message? Is there a singular thing that you guys are getting out there? We're talking multifaceted. I mean, what's
Absolutely
at the core?
not.
What are we talking about?
There are many messages, but one voice. The medium itself is the message. People are tired. They've had this awful recession is doing terrible things to people's morale. And most of us agree, the 99% seem to agree, that it has been the fat cattery on Wall Street that's played a large role, and they're the ones who are keeping it this way. So if you want to call it an umbrella message, that's what we have, but we're inviting all people. It's been suggested that the 99% movement has formed in opposition to the Tea Party, and that's completely false. We welcome the Tea Party to come and join us because they're a part of us too. We want everyone's message to be heard.
Most folks who follow the news are obviously familiar with the Arab Spring, familiar with movements around the world. In the big picture, how does this tie into what we've seen around the world in the past couple of years or so?
Well, obviously, the Occupy Wall Street movement was inspired by the events in Tunisia and in Tahrir Square in particular in Egypt. They occupied for several months, and that's what brought about change. One key difference is that these protests have been, for the most part, non-violent and have been accepted by the general public. Yesterday, there was a clash in New York City between the protesters and the police, but the police backed down at the request of local politicians. So while it may seem they're enforcing an issue in a larger sense, they're part of us too.
What's the end game here, man? Because a lot of folks are going to say, oh, so what do you want? So what do you want? They're going to say, oh, it's a bunch of socialist wackos out there who are talking this 99% kind of nonsense. What do these kids want? What do they want?
Well, that's what the purpose of the General Assembly is. We want to start coalescing our ideas and beliefs into something more solid. But right now, the message is that there is no message. It's the medium. The end game, I heard a political scholar recently say that these type of groups that are sustained long enough actually go to form organizations and changes in your local and larger community. And so only time can tell what's going to happen.
I'll throw out these. We're talking platform, we're talking agenda, we're talking manifesto, we're talking a legitimate movement or political party. What category, what does this fall into? What are we talking about?
The only legal stance we've taken is the legal assistance from the NYCLU in helping us deal with City Hall in a respectable manner. We want to extend that cooperation with City Hall, and they seem to be cooperating as well. Other than that, we're out here representing the average person's beliefs. There is no one unified message. I mean, look at all the people around you. You ask them, they're going to tell you a different reason that they're here. And like I said before, it may be many messages, but it's one voice.
Does it provide definition in terms of whether it's a political party, a political movement, or what are we talking about?
I wouldn't say that it's a political party, definitely not a party. A political movement, depending on your definition. But this is a popular movement. This is people coming together to say, you know what, we've had enough. And the average person doesn't want to be controlled by Wall Street anymore. And that's what's been happening. So come to the assembly today at noon. All are welcome. And that's exactly what we'll be discussing. Future operation of the organization.
Anything you want to get out there in terms of today, right here and now, that we didn't cover here? Because it's a lot going on, obviously. We can't squeeze everything into a minute 30, into
Right.
2 minutes. But is there one message you think supports the people to know that
Yes.
you want to drive home?
There's one thing that I wanted to say, and that was that there's a lot of energy here. Even in the rain, people are energized. There's a lot of momentum and solidarity with our brothers in Wall Street. We've gotten calls from Washington, several other places. Ultimately, though, there's a lot of energy, but no anger, no hostility. We played by the books, and this is something that we want to continue doing because we've gotten such incredible respect and support from the community, an entire sampling of the population. You name it, they've supported us.
Hey guys, this is just stuff. This is just business stuff. How you guys doing with the permits and everything? How's that going? Because I know it expired last night or something. And
Well, like I
how's
said,
that all going?
like I said, we've enjoyed a lot of cooperation with City Hall, and we continue to enjoy cooperation and understanding with them.
You step back. But yeah, how's it going with in terms of logistics? Because you guys been out here a little bit more than a week or so, and so in terms of you got to keep renewing the permits or what? I mean, how does that work? Does it expire? Do you have to apply again, or how do you get permission to stay out here without folks saying what are they doing?
Well, I will say that we're in regular communication with City Hall regarding the permits and the right to be here. This is a constitutional issue. The tents and such are part of our freedom of expression, our freedom of speech, and that trumps any local ordinance. However, the city has been incredibly respectful towards us and understanding, and we have the utmost thanks and gratitude for them extending that hand, and we hope that as the future goes on, we can continue to work in the spirit of friendship and cooperation.
Do you know about the group that's going to be up at Bidwell in Elmwood today, some October group or something like that? There's another group that's going to be out today.
I can't say I'm familiar.
Yeah, apparently at Elmwood and Bidwell they're going to be up there.
Do you know their agenda?
They're going to be out there about 2 o'clock, so I just wanted to know anything about that.
No, not offhand. It may be in support of the Wall Street movement, but we haven't heard anything.
Okay.
But then again, there's no message because this is a leaderless movement. I mean, I may be doing a job, but that doesn't mean that I'm the be-all, end-all of the whole thing.
So it's fluid.
Yes, it's very fluid, and that's what, right now we're trying to see what the people want, how they're responding to it. Do they want us to occupy the entire park, or do they want us to continue here? You know, it's like all the big decisions are made in a very democratic way. In fact, direct democracy. You don't see that very often.
It feels amorphous kind of thing, this fluid kind of thing. Folks kind of go, well, it's just this amoeba movement that's just all over the place. And folks kind of look at stuff like this and say, well, what is the direction? They want definitive. You know, they're kind of like, what's definitive?
Right now, we have to focus on growing. We have to gain more community support, and both locally and nationally, we need to have. Only then will a more solidified movement come into existence.
So this is still evolving. This is still really kind of
Yes, this is still in the infancy stage. I mean, this just started for us, like the big day was October 8th. So, I mean, every day you come here, you'll see something more added and something more added. And the tent, I mean, has evolved into something that actually works and keeps our Wi-Fi system protected, you know? Yeah, we have Wi-Fi.
When I ask about in-game, it's like, how long are you guys willing to hang out, stay out here?
It's been briefly discussed. We're focusing on the present at the moment. In terms of long-term, I've heard some of the more hardcore people say they've resolved to stay through the winter, and once spring comes, that will only rejuvenate our movement more.
Is it trying to get general support, or are you guys like more or less preaching to the choir? We want to include everybody.
Well, we do want to include everyone, but we are trying to gain support from people who would otherwise not pay attention. For instance, the EMTs Local 375, they've shown support for us. So have the Buffalo Police and Fire Departments, as well as several NFTA drivers.
Right.
And because of that, people realize that, you know, say, oh, well, the police are behind them. They must be on the right side. When little old ladies are knitting blankets and bringing you hot soup, you know that you're reaching out there, and at the very least, regardless of everything, you've got more people talking about social inequality. And that's really the important thing, is that people are discussing it and starting to realize exactly what the situation is, because it seems that the system keeps you blind.
Well, wondering if the dialogue is more important than the actual having some end game here. The dialogue is more important than that, because folks do look for kind of...
Well, unfortunately, due to the 24-hour news cycle, no offense intended.
This is what I do, is not who I am.
Due to that, people do have their monthly news cycle, and then next month it's another issue, and it's forgotten about. And that's why we want to have such a sustained presence to let people know. And in a major hub of Buffalo, where there's the financial industry, the harbor, you've got the courts, and the FBI building is right back there. A large section of Buffalo is here often. And if they see that we're here staying, it might make them question a little more why they are. And when we've handed flyers out to people you would not think, based on appearance alone, that would accept, have been rather receptive to us coming out.
Well, I talked to a guy last week, and I said, you don't exactly fit the demographic that we've seen associated with the movement here.
We have no demographic.
Don't have a demographic.
Well,
it's open to everyone.
But blaming on the media, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of what appears to be the demographic for, Occupy Wall Street, the movement, they appear to say, well, it's young college students, etc., kind of thing.
But it's not just young college students.
But that's a good thing, because we put him on the air to show that it wasn't basically that. So yeah,
and that's
a lot
why
of folks get the impression.
Well, we invite everyone to come down. We're here 24/7, but the general assemblies are always Saturday, and then people can see for themselves before they knock it. Come see what we're about and check it out for
By the way,
yourself.
this is just a conversation. It's not only
Yeah.
The other thing about the cultural diversity is a lot of folks are going to say, a bunch of like rich white kids, college students who have the luxury of staying out here and protesting. That the working poor don't have the luxury
Okay,
of
now
staying
actually,
out here
somebody
and
brought
spending time in the park here and all this
somebody
kind of
brought
stuff.
that up yesterday, and from my understanding, a big part of it is like perhaps on the corporate media's end or the free press media, that the issue isn't reaching those areas as well as it reaches. College kids are going to spread their message in the college. So,
But folks watch TV, you know what I mean?
If I could just add also, your point is very valid.
Absolutely.
And it's just, that's part of the reason we're out here. Those of us who can be out here are out here. There's lots who wish they were out here, or they come briefly, they stop in, or they bring something, or they want to be part of it. But we're standing up for everybody. We're the common good.
Yeah, and what we're talking about right down there is the West Side, which is a media euphemism for Hispanic. Mm-hmm. Latin American Hispanic community.
West Side,
right
yeah.
down there is
Right.
the East Side, which is another euphemism for poor and black.
Well, we're urging
And I'm
them
just trying to think, where is the Hispanic community? Where's the black community here? The working poor.
Well, this is
in
only
this
our
movement.
second general assembly that the public has really known about, and we're hoping. The weather seems to be kind of an issue, but hopefully it'll have a wider spreading message. And if not,
But
it's
you
been
can
suggested
understand
that
that
we need
people are
to
going to look at this and say it's largely white.
Well, we're doing our best to get everybody out. That's
well,
what
the-
we're
well,
trying.
the thing
We're wondering where they are
You
too.
understand the question.
Right.
We're trying.
If you look at it from the perspective of Occupy Wall Street, it took them, what are they, in day 30?
Yeah.
It took them 15, 20 days before there was a group called Occupy the Hood. It took another week before you had major black speakers out there supporting the group. I mean, if you've been occupying a community for generations and you know what you're risking and what could happen, you're less likely to just join.
Well,
have a higher
people
risk.
with nothing have less to lose.
Less to lose,
That's
but
the
they've
thing.
lost it
Nothing
a number
to
of
lose,
times
you know.
too, though.
Well, anyway, we're trying to get everybody out here as well as we can.
But thank you for pointing out, we do need to do a better job with outreach into those neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
Really showing that everyone should be
Yeah,
involved.
because I would editorialize. I just point the camera, you know what I mean, and
Right.
people see the images.
Right.
They see the images and they make their judgments based on the images and what they see and what they hear. So that's it's very very valid question. Folks, they'll see it and kind of go, oh,
Yeah,
never
no,
mind.
we're trying. Believe you me, we are trying. I'm begging people.
Yeah.
But also, some people have may feel more at risk because of,
Yeah.
historic
Well,
behavior.
you know who's at risk?
By,
It's the NFTA guy who
officers.
openly voices his support.
Absolutely. I mean,
There's a police officer who openly
Right.
voices his
Absolutely.
support, who
Right.
has a gig.
Yeah, no, we
So those,
watch.
you
We
know.
watch, and that white NFTA, beep beep beep. You see a black woman driving that bus, she ain't even looking.
But you know what I mean?